can then standing up for your individual rights. And guess what? We've seen a lot of kids get shot in schools, and these kids are saying, I don't want to get shot in my school.
I don't want that to happen again. That kind of sucks.
How are you on the opposite side of that conversation?
It's funny because the one girl went up, not funny, but like the one girl went up during the march, and she was giving a whole speech, and she was so nervous and probably also still fucking scared from the shooting that she threw up like on national television giving a speech.
Good, that's real.
She then recovered, and she goes, I just threw up on national television, and everybody cheered.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's this kind of funny moment that throughout all the darkness and the evilness around it, that this girl just throws up and makes a joke out of it, and people are like, no, we can still do this. Like,
she was on stage?
She was on stage
like,
giving a speech.
That huge, like, DC.
Of your school being shot up?
Right.
That's insane. No, that's vomiting on stage.
Alright, high school was hard enough.
Right?
Could you imagine, like, your school is front and center on the national stage?
I know.
And there's marches on Washington.
In high school, I didn't want to speak in front of my fucking class.
These kids have shown resiliency and, like, eloquence.
Here you go.
And you know what's funny? They might be the only thing that can actually counter-argue. How is it, like, I know the NRA is deeply embedded in American culture.
And put this
What's
up.
the one thing they could maybe...
You can see her starting to crumble.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's good for her for doing this. I mean, she's so ridiculous. That's so brave.
You're brave.
Lawmakers and politicians will scream guns are not the issue, but can't look me in the eye.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Keep it together, girl.
But people are like, no, like, we're still together. See, they're cheering for her.
It makes me sick. That's what she's like.
That's what she should have said, yeah.
She should have said that.
It's
gun
not-
violence
that would've been a
makes
great
me
line.
sick.
It's not uncommon to puke before a big event.
Dude, but then here she just comes back up, recovers.
Like a fucking G.
Watch how she
The
recovers.
whole planet watching.
Yeah.
Okay, Becky, get it together.
Can you imagine what's going through her mind right now? Holy shit, I just vomited in front of that guy I had a crush
I
on.
would be like, just in front of that guy, in front of every guy you want to ever date in your entire life is watching right now.
They did cut away from her face.
On international television, and it feels great.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Just a solid
That's a
recovery.
pretty good
Yeah.
recovery.
I mean, good for her, man. And
Oh,
she just
poor
kept
girl.
going. She
I feel
just
so
kept
bad.
going. I don't. She just killed that moment. That's
Yeah.
gonna live in her.
I'm just glad she didn't like projectile. That she actually like bent over.
She was.
Could you
Yeah.
imagine just like
She handled throwing up on international television with grace and maturity that none of us probably could.
I know.
Dude, I would have walked up to the fucking podium and puked on the microphone.
In the first second.
Like,
Hello, my name is. I am here for.
I would have hardly belted out a noun.
Parkland.
Oh, Dirsch.
Dirsch.
I still wish that she said
You ever
that
seen
gun
the
violence
kid-
makes me sick.
That would have been a solid line.
I wish she just farted. That would have been great.
I mean, I think she killed it doing what she did.
She did good, but I think a fart would have been funny.
Yeah.
The
Would've sold
comedic
it.
side of me wants a nice long fart. Not to take away from their message, because yeah,
Just to lighten the mood a little.
Vomits and then farts.
yeah.
The
Like
two things you don't want to do on television: vomit and
you saw the
fart.
kid from the spelling bee who like went up. He was like, SP.
And he just
Yeah, he
I thought you were gonna
collapsed.
say he farted.
No, he's a little Indian kid. He just collapsed like a corpse.
So
a lot of
nervous.
pressure.
And then he got up. He came back to the mic and he was like, Persephone. P.
He just comes
And
back
he
up like
nailed the
nothing.
word.
a
They're like,
fucking robot.
they're like, bing, correct. And he walked off. He was a
Robot
little-
child.
He was like an 82-pound Indian kid.
That's
and he nailed
amazing.
it. He blacked out mid-word, came back, and finished the word.
Speaking
Like
of
a
Indian
champ.
kids,
That's a weird segment. I don't know where you're going
No,
with this.
no.
I was just thinking about it. It's not related to this, but it is an Indian kid. This kid that I went to high school with, he's like a fucking genius. He's like one of the smartest kids in our class. He's like some engineer for some fucking company now, and he runs like 2 fantasy leagues that I'm like playing in, like basketball and football.
shit.
And he dominates every single year. Fucking genius. I don't know how he picks these teams that are just like these perfect teams every
He's a number
season.
cruncher.
Like literally, I've been playing with him for like 4 years now, 4 or 5 years of
Yeah.
football, basketball every single year.
he just kills it.
And he gets first place every year. He either wins or gets second place. This kid's a fucking beast. And it's the fantasy basketball semifinals now, and it's me and him matched up, and his team is sucking it. And he's blowing up my phone with all this shit, with all these like statistically though, and he's like freaking out. And
You
he's like,
shouldn't be winning.
That's exactly what he's saying.
You should keep going like, but yet I am.
You
So-
know,
I know,
Cinderella
it's
story.
the funniest
Eat my ass.
thing. Literally, his team this season went like 22-0. His team is like
Jeez.
ridiculous, and it's just so funny seeing this kid who's like a fucking savant just start to freak out at the first
Nice.
sight of losing.
Wait, give me some of that.
He's like, it's just so
Fuck
funny.
yes. You know
Just
what?
like
People
a little
like
bit
that.
of losing.
People like that need to lose. They don't deal with losing good, but
They're
they
not
need
good
to
at
lose.
it.
It's
but
just
they-
so
but
funny.
they
I
need it.
computed everything and I
I
shouldn't
know.
be losing.
Like at the first sign of losing, he's like, "Fuck it."
Yeah, good.
It's so
Feel what it's
funny.
like to be mortal for one.
Yo, his
know.
life crumbles. Like, your life is fine. If you lose, you're like, all right,
Whatever.
I'll be
Yeah.
home, Tam, like, on my way.
He is freaking out. I saw
You know
him
what?
post
You
on
want, do you want
Facebook too.
falafel tonight, or should we get burrito? Whatever. You know, we'll watch
Whatever,
the
babe. We'll just hang out.
You're
We'll have
like,
a good
whatever.
time.
Yeah.
And
He's like, "Ah!"
No, he literally
Driving home yelling at
Yeah.
drive. Oh, fuck you! Get out of my way!
Yeah,
'Cause his
he
teams are
breaks all his
perfect.
Dragon Ball Z toys.
And then he regrets it immediately.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
It's actually a pretty
He's-
accurate, like,
He spends all night
portrayal of
gluing
how
them
he
back
is.
together. Whatever. Look, people have their realms.
Yeah.
People have their.
They
realms.
do. Like, that kid has his fucking analytics
Yeah.
and his Dragon Ball Z toys. I will gladly give those to him. That's what you
That's his
want.
business.
Yeah, you'll beat me at fantasy basketball.
See, my
But
picks
you
are
don't
always
go
like
outside.
fucking gut picks. I'm like, this guy's gonna be good. My gut picks, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe he'll be good, and then it just works out. I'm like, oh shit. That's pretty good.
You picked your bracket like boop, 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 boop.
I mean, like, I know basketball, so I know who not
Yeah.
to pick.
Yeah.
But there's guys where I'm like, whatever, pick them. it'll be fun to just watch.
That'll
People
be
pick like,
fun,
I like
yeah.
these colors, or I like this team, or I like this mascot, whatever, and they fucking win the whole
It's
thing.
just so funny though. He's just like freaking out. Just
There's people that
he's
take that
Indian
shit
kid.
so seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, way too much. There's
Like-
so much money in it, though. I mean, it can really change people's lives.
Like I used to play DraftKings, and there's some
that shit wasn't a
rooms.
scam, though, wasn't it?
No, like people make livings doing it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's obviously it's like a lot of luck.
Yeah, for sure.
It's because it's just sports. You don't know, a player could get hurt and you just
Yeah.
lose all your fucking money.
Yeah, that's true.
But they have some rooms where like the entry fee is like $5,000 just for like one game. You know,
Who plays it? Like, people professionally for a living are.
play DraftKings.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
How is that a thing?
it's just gambling. It's just sports gambling.
You're going to have a lot of capital
It's like
going
the
into
same
it,
thing.
though. I feel
Yeah,
like.
yeah. If you're
Oh.
gambling like a professional gambler.
Early on in March Madness, there was like a Cinderella story. There was like
Yeah,
a,
still
like
is.
a 16 seed beat like a 1 seed.
For the first time ever, yeah.
And there was a guy who put like $5,000
Ugh.
on the 16
He's
seed,
loaded right
and
now.
he won like $3 million.
He's loaded right now.
He just said that. He was like, "Look, I'll bet the first round. I'm gonna put a bunch of money on a bunch of nobodies."
And he ended up fucking
Yep.
just killing it.
This,
It's off. I
this March
love
Madness has been
Cinderella stories.
like
no other.
there's literally zero correct brackets.
Zero.
But that's
Zero
what I like
correct
about it.
Warren
It kinda
Buffett
shuts
used to offer
down
$1 million if you get
for the perfect thing.
They still
A
do. Like
perfect
they
bracket
still
has
do.
never
Like
existed.
no, I think people get it right. I think there's
No way.
there's occasion where people
way.
get it right because I think there's at
Not
least one
100%.
person to like get it right. Yeah.
I mean,
Let's see.
I don't know. Well, I guess.
I would be very.
I
very-
honestly don't know how it works. I cannot argue in this arena.
There's
Just
64
picking-
teams, and it gets down to.
I mean, I know
one.
how like that kind of works.
I know,
I'm
but,
not,
like,
the seeds and stuff.
the
I don't
odds
follow
of
it
like
enough.
Well, I mean, you could say the same thing about playing
Middle
the like,
Tennessee
lottery. You know, like
State
it's
It's all
the
the
same odds.
crapshoot, but I love it because it literally goes back to that saying like any team can beat any team on any given Sunday. It doesn't matter how much money they spend. That's like the movie
Yeah.
Moneyball. It's not about the money; it's about the players and
Yeah.
how it just can
You're
turn.
right.
You don't know. It's all just
You're
a
right.
fucking crapshoot. Somebody could have an off day. Somebody could be hurt. Somebody could be whatever.
The odds of picking a perfect bracket are 1 in 9.2 quintillion.
What the fuck?
Which
Good
is,
luck.
Which
Have
is
fun.
3, 6, 9.
Okay.
And then Bob
15,
comes around the office. Who wants
18.
brackets?
Yeah.
$5, please.
It's 18
Holly won
zeros.
a perfect bracket. Holly Babcock won a perfect bracket.
Sorry,
the
we're totally
old-
running over your explanation of
No,
what we don't know.
when I heard 9.2 quintillion,
That's when my brain started like, oh, no, I'm done.
my
I'm
brain
out.
turned to bread. Rye bread.
A solid loaf.
Well, normally the officers that do the bracket, the person who's the most correct is the one that
Yeah.
ends up winning it. Not like
I feel like
Make the
most
perfect
people
bracket.
are not even remotely correct.
no, because most people don't even watch half the
Yeah. You're like,
teams.
I like.
Who has the time to
I
sit
like
and watch
Virginia.
every goddamn
It's
game?
impossible because
Yeah.
some of these teams come from like conferences where it's like, who watches this shit?
Nobody.
Like Middle Tennessee State. And
Yeah.
it's like, what?
Yeah.
Where
unless,
is that school?
Unless you go to that school, like Florida Gulf Coast had a run like
That's
2
what I'm
years
saying.
ago.
Like nobody,
Who the
no one's
fuck-
watching Florida Gulf Coast.
If you don't live in Fort Myers, you don't give a
You
shit.
even know what
about-
Florida Gulf Coast is?
What is that? Yeah.
Where is that in Florida? Which
And they
Florida,
became,
what
they
coast?
became Dunk City.
is that where the spill happened? That's
Yeah.
all they know.
Is that where the oil just all piled up? The turtles
You made
died?
a school out of that?
There's a place? There's humans? Ew.
Oh, we boarded that up years ago,
Didn't we
right?
get out of there? We
We burned it to the ground. I'm
We
pretty
got
sure.
aborted.
No, I remember they made a
Town.
movie out of it. Mark Wahlberg was in
Yeah.
it.
And he said, "Get out." What if that was a Mark Wahlberg movie? Get out.
Him for 2 hours.
Yeah.
There's a guy like standing out his door. Get out!
Just
We've run this running to
go.
the ground.
We fucked up. Just go. That's him in what is that? What's the with the
I don't even know.
the M Night Shyamalan movie when the trees attack?
Oh,
The-
doesn't anyone
the
want to know the
Happening.
bees are
The
dying?
Happening.
Just
Bees are dying.
yeah.
You
a
got all
shitty
worked up
movie.
about a bee. Yeah, it's a
hate that
horrible movie.
fucking-
How
so much.
how did somebody pitch Mark Wahlberg on that movie?
M. Night Shyamalan
Alright.
was on a hot streak, and he thought he still had it.
He's like Mark.
How did anyone pitch anyone in that fucking
Mark.
movie?
John Leguizamo was on it.
I haven't. They're under your phone.
I
Oh, what the
get,
fuck?
How's that CBD treating you?
Shit.
look, I get the fact that what's her name was in it.
Who?
The folk.
Oh, Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah, I get that she was in it.
And
but,
look,
like,
you did the folk, and then you
yeah.
started making a
John
loop.
Leguizamo was in it.
Yep.
Like Mark Wahlberg was in
Yep.
it. Like all these people were in it, and it's like Mark Wahlberg was like, guys, doesn't anybody want to listen? Maybe
Didn't want to know the bees are dying. He was so upset about the
who's
fucking
out?
bees.
Such a bad movie. I walked out of that movie.
Did you?
Did
I
you
saw
really?
it in theaters. I was like, I can't watch this.
really.
When I first found out there was the winner, I was like, nope.
No,
When I saw
Done.
the trailer
Out.
and the guy
I'm
laid
done.
down in front of her,
Damn.
I was like, "This is retarded. What the fuck are we watching?"
Because it was interesting at first. I was like,
watched
oh
it.
shit, like what's happening? Why are people like,
Hence the movie
falling?
title.
Yeah.
What's
But
happening?
then when you find out what's happening, it's like, I'm gonna kill myself. This is the worst thing
turns
I've
out
ever
you
seen.
don't want to know what's
You
happening.
don't want to know what's
Al
happening.
Gore's movie come to real life.
They could have did anything. They could have did any creature or
Yeah.
bug or something.
Uh-huh.
They're the goddamn wind, and they're running from the wind as if you can do that, as if you can like see the wind coming. And,
No,
like,
but wait.
No. You see the
Spoiler
branches
alert!
around you.
If you hold your breath, the trees don't know you're
If you
there.
hold your breath and plug your butt.
How the fuck did M.
They
Night
can't-
Shyamalan get on set and be like,
I think I still haven't finished that fucking movie.
like imagine Mark Wahlberg with a group of people, like extras and everybody included, like, and then they had to film a scene, like
All right, everybody, hold your breath.
All right,
The-
all right.
The wind's coming.
everybody run to the point X up ahead.
so lame that they fucking
That must have
see
been
the trees blowing. Run! Shit, the trees!
Dude,
and they're
that,
fighting back. Why? Because they don't.
So,
Because
well, how do we know where the wind is? Like,
M. Night,
is it close or like how can you possibly know
M.
where
Night-
the wind
yeah.
is or when it's gone?
somebody
It's
on
the
set
dumbest
just
thing
yelling,
ever.
At night.
M. Night.
This is dumb.
This is
Stop.
weird. What? M. Night.
I got you on the ghosts. I'm with you there.
Hey,
Make
Mr.
something.
Midnight.
The aliens were cool too. But M. Night, you blew it. Stop.
Can we move on to the elevator movie?
Where there's the devil for some reason.
Yeah.
He
dude.
made something else recently that was actually decent.
He made The Visit, which was good. Which
Yes, that one.
fucked up.
That one. That was a
Ugh.
fucking great
Did you
movie.
see that?
Where the kids
Yeah.
go to see their
I saw that
grandparents?
Oh,
loaded
so
in
good.
theaters. Jesus fucking
See, that was
Christ.
like his comeback.
That was good.
Of
He
some
did something
sort.
else though. I thought too. I gotta
He
look
did
at
The Village.
I like The Village.
Yeah,
when
that's
that
pretty
came out.
good. I think
Everybody
that was
hated
the
that. I
last
liked
good
it.
one. He did the one.
Unbreakable
he
was
did
incredible.
the-
Split.
Woman in the Water or something like
was
that.
good.
Lady in the
Oh,
Water.
I liked Woman in the Water.
Lady in the Water was
Lady in the
Woman in the
I
Water.
didn't see that.
Woman in Water.
I'm
was-
woman in
Haven't you seen Women? That's like an old Jewish woman. We went to see Women in Water. Did you see it?
Women
it
in
was,
Water.
It was so good. What
You know
are you
what?
talking
People
about?
hated it, but I love that Will Smith movie After Earth
I didn't see it.
with his kid.
Because his kid's weird. I don't want to
His
see
kid's
it.
weird, but he plays it well in the movie.
Are his kids weird, or are they just Will Smith's kid?
They're just Will Smith's kids.
I think here's what it was.
They've
I think
never
I was
faced
hoping
adversity in their
his
life.
son would be a miniature him,
Never.
like a hey kind of
Yeah.
like thing, not like some like
Your kids
emo
are not
sort
you.
of
They're
like
some
fucking
like bizarro version of you.
yeah. I was hoping that
Your
he'd
kids
be.
are a bizarro version.
Yeah.
I wish he would just follow in his footsteps, like the same exact person.
No.
Because we can just live it all over again, you know?
You want Will Smith too?
Yeah.
You're not gonna get that.
No, because you're too much of a good thing.
Yeah, but
You're
now
gonna
I want to spoil it.
You're gonna get
But
like
we got
Migos.
this like emo, like fucking
Yeah.
American
Dyed hair.
Apparel asshole.
Yeah.
You wore a white
Like, I
Batman
wear
costume to his
tapestry.
prom.
Yeah, gender
I-
neutral, like fucking guy.
and
I don't have a penis or
I
a
fly
vagina.
between planets non-sexually.
It's like,
And you're
how
like,
can you
what?
just be fucking Will
Dude,
Jr.?
you're just rich
Yeah.
and you're smoking a lot of weed. That's all that's happening right now.
Dude, when your parents have a lot of money,
You can be as crazy as you
you
want.
get fucked up. No,
Yeah,
it's
you
not.
don't have to worry about it.
It's not okay. If
People
you're-
love you. You're in movies.
If your parent is a millionaire, you're fucked.
Go a little higher.
If your parent is a billionaire, you know how fucking batshit crazy you are. If your parent is a billionaire,
It's not so much if your parent
know how
is, if you're
batshit crazy-
raised that way and they just let you
Wait.
like.
put your mind for 1 second into the child of a billionaire,
It's
Yeah.
not possible.
where money doesn't exist.
It's not even money doesn't exist. Life is a game.
It
It's
is a
all
game.
a toy. Everything's a toy. You can. It's like a video game where you have unlimited lives.
Houses don't mean anything.
If you kill
Careers
someone,
don't mean anything.
if you do something wrong, whatever it is, you're just fine. You'll just deal with it tomorrow. You'll just get drunk, smoke a
You don't-
fucking ton of
I
joints.
feel
I
like
think it just-
I feel like you don't have a purpose at all.
I think you do though, because I think when you're that rich, the goal isn't to make money. The goal is to like lead the
living.
like lead the empire. Like you have to
But
like
it's all a matter
you have to
of how-
live up to that standard. It's like okay, if you're a billionaire, you've done something in your life where you've created some company that's fucking insanely big.
Yeah.
And now you're the kid, so now you got to do the same thing. It's okay, you got to
Now
carry
you
gotta, like, live up
You got to
to it.
carry the fucking.
Never has that happened in the
It-
history
it-
of human.
it doesn't
That's why
happen,
kids
but
are never.
You
good,
expect the kid to at least be like a millionaire of some
But it's
sort.
all a matter of how involved the
No.
parents are. Because if
they
you're
don't
like some
uphold
rich
the throne.
I mean,
if you're
you
some
look at-
rich parent and you just don't give a shit, then yeah, your kids are going to be shitty. If you're very involved, like what's the one quote from the George Clooney movie, The Descendants, where he's like, "I want to give my kids enough money to do something with, but not enough that they don't have to do anything."
Yeah.
And that's what I think it boils down to. Teaching, even if you have all the money in the world, bestowing upon your kid, like, look, I didn't always have this. This is a fucking rare thing to have. Respect it and treat it with the respect that it deserves.
Yes.
Yeah.
But nobody
No,
understands
you
unless
get
you've
it.
made it.
You get it, but you're not the son of a billionaire.
Right. But I'm saying that
What if you just
they can
grew
grow up that
in
way.
Manhattan like Trump?
You can grow up that
Well,
way.
yeah, that's what happened
As long
to-
as you have the proper
That's what happened to
guidance.
Trump.
They
Trump
like,
was born into like the richest real estate
Exactly.
family in Manhattan.
So
like
that-
Trump was already
that's
rich,
like
but it wasn't
that's
enough.
like
It wasn't
you're
like
outside of. I feel like there's lanes, and he grew up out
Lois Lane,
yep.
Kent
the Clark Kent.
Lane.
I mean, I would say
Fuck
that like
off.
a great
right.
majority. I don't know if this is just a made up fact, but that a lot of rich people's kids end up like following in their parents' footsteps to where like, oh, my dad's a doctor, so I'm gonna become
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a doctor.
There's a
like,
pressure.
I think it's either one direction or the other. Either they're a total fuck up,
Yeah.
and they're just like they just don't get it,
Yeah.
or they're like right there, right behind their fucking parent,
Yeah.
to where it's like, look at my son,
Yeah.
He's just
like me. Yeah.
What
But
is
I
that?
know-
What is that parental fucking like? He'll be me. I'm a doctor.
It's an
Yeah.
ego.
Of
It's
course,
an
I think
arrogance.
yeah, it's an extension of you. That's
Because
a
you're feeling
fucking
like
ego.
I'm
Exactly.
so great, I have to make another version of me. where
That's
it's
why
like, it's not
I'm-
about how great you are. It's about, all right, I did this. Now, what does this guy want to? What does this girl want to do?
Yeah.
What does my child want to do? That's different
Yeah.
for me. If they want to follow my footsteps, great. But what do you want to do? What is your passion?
Yeah.
Because
That's
how I
why.
got
That's
here.
why kids rebel because
too much
they're like,
pressure.
I'm a great heart surgeon. My kid will be a heart. And they're like,
Right.
no, you're an asshole.
No, you're just a dildo that's good at his
Cheated on
job.
mom, you asshole. You got a second apartment I hate you.
It's
I
all
hate you.
You're not my real
I
dad.
never loved you.
my real dad. You're a stepdad.
No, but like,
I think it's just like
dude, success will not bring you
That-
fucking happiness.
So
and,
that kinda
and,
leads into
and you
what we-
might jump into like other fucking toils.
it's just like a dad thing is what I feel like.
No,
like
be a good
dads
dad,
just
man.
like
Just be a fucking dad.
a lot of
Be there.
dads just want like this is my seed. He has to.
My seed
you know,
is
like I
strong.
made this. I think because you made it, you want to see it become something awesome. Honestly,
I
like,
made
Dad wants to
this.
see a fucking
exactly.
loser grow up.
That's
Like
so-
you're gonna ask a kid, you're not gonna push a kid to fucking okay, want to hang out,
Yeah.
smoke
Yeah.
weed.
Yeah.
Nah, you're gonna try to get him to become like if I'm a
Dude,
millionaire,
I will-
he's gonna be one too.
Yeah.
I'll be the first to admit, if I had like a son, I wouldn't know how to talk to him. Like, hey, bud.
But I think you
Like-
develop that.
like, hey, like-
as you go,
Yeah.
you do,
Like, you
they're
know,
not
like,
born
cool,
with
you got
an
little
opinion.
fingers.
I think you would
They're
just
not
be
born
yourself.
with an opinion that they're gonna voice at
you want to learn how to swim?
You like
I don't
you
know.
raise them to.
I know, but that terrifies me.
I mean, you're a functioning like adult. I mean,
Yeah.
you can
Somewhat.
just
The three of us somewhat form
Do
half
you
of an
think I
adult.
want to make another me? God forbid. This
Why do you
is
say that?
this is
did,
hard enough. You
If you did, you wouldn't.
think I
totally
want a
be able to
carbon
handle it.
copy of this? No, man.
I think I want to make two.
I want to check out. I don't want to subject this to somebody else.
And it's kind of.
Do you have to tell us something?
Yeah.
Do you ever think about like what, like the way that you are half of your parent? That's obvious, but like, do you ever think about it? You ever really think
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
like,
the weird thing. You're an
Yes.
amalgam of the two parts of these people.
like you look at
the
your
best
parent-
and the worst
Yes.
of them are all crammed into
That's you. It's fucking weird.
I will tell you.
That's such a
I will
weird-
tell you point blank. Spend less time with your parents, because the less you know about them, the better off you are.
Like I just want to know. I want to know. Like
No, you don't.
Like you ever
No, you
think of
don't.
something and
You
it's
know
like,
what? I know
what?
No, just run
I'm solid
headlong
not
into a
knowing the
field
difference.
with Tamara and go make kids.
Don't
and
look
be-
back.
Just go be beautiful and have yoga kids and,
guys
and
yoga.
live. Yeah, I swear to you, if you go and you look at your parents like under a microscope, you're gonna have nothing but regret.
Oh,
I don't
God.
think
I
so.
love
think
I
it's a
love my
matter of
parents. I love my
appreciating.
I just want
parents.
to know, like,
Look.
what are the good parts?
I've spent the last 6 months with my parents, regrettably, but also
Not
not
regrettably. I mean,
regrettably, and
You'll-
also
you'll look back on
non-regrettably.
that later.
Look,
Yeah.
they're getting into their
Very long
60s.
life.
They're getting in their 60s. I enjoyed the time that I'm spending with them
Yeah.
because I think it is important. Like, we get a lot of cool family time. I get to me and my dad go on hikes together. Like,
that's
we're learning,
huge.
We're learning a lot about each other. We're having like really fucking cool conversations. It's fucking crazy.
it's got. I mean, look. Here's the thing. It's a struggle. Like I could not.
You don't
do
want to
it.
see behind the curtain sometimes.
But also, not only is there, it's a really good relationship builder because as much as you completely disagree with this guy, he
He's half
gave you
you.
life. He's half of you.
He's
and
half you.
He's learning about you as much as you're learning about
do
him.
you want to know that though? Because I sometimes listen to their conversations and go, "They built me." I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like
It's
so
all the different contexts.
You're
Like,
also
they were
part of
raised-
someone else, though.
They were raised in a different
Who else?
generation.
like, no, you're part of like
Yeah.
other
Your mom,
genes.
too,
Like,
yeah.
you're part like
You're part of your mom.
you're
and
part of your
dad.
grandfather. You're part of your great
Yeah,
great.
right.
You know, you're part of
Alright.
all kind of shit.
So I'm only percentage.
But think about that for a minute. So, like, okay, our great, go back as far as you want, whomever, at some point made a lot of decisions that now somehow have kind
Led
of
to you.
slinky down the gene pool to
Slinky.
land in our lap, and now we're just like, now I'm awkward in an elevator because some great whatever couldn't figure out how to talk to people. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Like,
actually kind of epic when you really think about it. Like,
Yeah.
but
like
then every
you-
step is progress.
this-
like
this
our
is
parents
all-
got this far, and
Yeah.
now we're gonna take it here, and then they're gonna take it's all a progression. So to see how far
It
you
is
can
going to
take it-
change. Yeah.
it's like running down the field with a football, and you just like you dive at that last bit to get like 2 more yards ahead of where you want to be. It's like that next level. You saw where our parents could get. And you're not trying to be them. You're trying to surpass them in a good way.
How much? Well, I don't know. I don't know about science.
I don't either.
But like,
well, I don't know about science.
let me tell you about science.
How much are you really like? There was you, and then there was your great grandfather.
Yeah.
Are you literally the same exact person, just lived different experiences, making you like think differently?
No,
Or
if evolution taught us anything, no.
like physically, maybe we're different.
I
and
feel like
maybe
we have a
we've,
lot of the same characteristics.
like,
as
are
our
you-
ancestors.
No,
are you-
If we met?
are you born?
Evolution is always kind of twisting.
But I'm saying,
forward.
if you met your great 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 grandfather, you would
He-
probably have some weird quirks that you share. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
weird, whether it's a personality trait, whatever it is, because you have to think.
I think
not
it would
only
hit
are
you
you an
in the
amalgam,
side of the head with an axe
But
and be
think-
like, pussy! Yeah.
you're an amalgam of all
Sorry.
these different generations crammed into one person. Then you have your surroundings, which is going to shape you, including your friends and your
Yeah.
immediate family. Then you also have whatever
'Cause you
your
don't-
family's
yeah.
beliefs are barreling
No.
down on you.
You know what I think?
You have
Which
so
is-
much. If you can come out somewhat
Nope.
enlightened or thinking
Nope.
for yourself, it's a miracle.
But you can't, like, I guess what we perceive as being ourselves.
Yeah.
Like the things that you've experienced, you can't wait till your kid is that. But you don't pass on your thoughts
Well, that's
and
the
your
weird thing.
experiences.
So
like I feel like people envision it being a smaller version of you
Yeah.
to where it's like, oh, everything in my brain is gonna go to his brain.
Yeah.
Well,
But
you
this
all kind of
thing-
want
you
your kid
attach.
to grow up
if
as
you
yourself.
if you and Tamara had a kid,
Physically, it would be
it's half you.
it'd be physically the same. Mentally, it's
But look,
on.
but look,
it's on their own.
But
Yeah.
look, you could never replicate your upbringing.
Right,
From the time
exactly.
you were born, to the house you lived in, to the school you went to everything you experienced and all your friends you had, you could never, ever replicate that.
No,
So that you're an anomaly.
exactly.
But think about it
And
this
you
way.
and
how many-
another anomaly met and made another anomaly.
But then, is it only our physical connection that
Yes.
is just making this thing? Nothing
No,
mentally
no.
from us.
No,
It's-
there are
It's
aspects of your
it's two things
personality.
that met.
Really? Yeah.
I think it's two.
Can you
things.
morph it though? Like,
There's-
can you
there's
can you
aspects of
turn?
Mighty morph it?
Like, if I'm an asshole for my entire life, a
Yeah.
fucking dick, and I
Are you gonna
and,
have a Stephen
and my
Hawking
wife's a
kid?
fucking dick. And we
wife's
have
got a
and we
dick?
and we have a kid
vagina.
is a kid that's gonna be born mentally a fucking dick.
No, I don't think that. I think
Nah.
I think it's partly
You
the
can't change
personality, but
Yeah,
it's
your
also
kid's gonna
partly
be a
how
dick.
they're grown.
If you're a dick and your wife's a dick, that kid's gonna be.
If,
Only-
if that's
only-
all they see, if that's
Yeah,
what they're
yeah,
learning,
right.
it's what they perceive.
Only if you treat him like
So like the
that.
ticks, like people that hang out with me that have only that like just meet my parents for the first time after like I'm 31 now and they just meet my parents now. They're like, oh, I can kind of see you have the same ticks or you have the same
Right.
little motions or movements, and that's just things that are learned. So how
Yeah.
much of your personality comes into those things that are learned? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ooh,
It's
that,
like-
wait, that's
Like
a
you're
good
not
question.
you're not born into it because
Wait.
You have you're born with your personality. You're born
Are
with
you?
your surround. I think so.
I don't
wait,
think so.
wait. It's a good question. What personality?
How much of
What
it goes
percentage of your kid is your personality? Like, because you raise the kid
Because
from the ground up.
I feel like
That kid
personalities
is at
change.
least 30% you, 30% your wife, and then like
He's
Whatever
not.
the
He's
rest-
and
not
then like
me. My
40% experience. Like, if you were raised here in South Florida and had a kid, and you and Tamara moved to like Colorado, your kid's gonna have a totally different
Yeah.
upbringing.
Yeah, of course.
He's gonna have like
Different personality.
at least 40-50% Colorado.
Right, so that's
in him.
going to change his
Yeah.
how he grows up versus how you grew up.
So
You
it's
grew
like-
up by the beach
Right.
and it was always
It's
warm. He's
nature and
grown up in
nurture.
cold and
So
yeah.
you-
Yeah,
gotta-
this is gonna be different.
Yeah.
So this
I
has
think
always been my thought.
a prime example of that is that those kids who somehow they grow up and they think that they have this like kind of hood way of like talking, but you live in the fucking suburbs and it's like your personality is
Yeah.
strictly determined by who you're hanging out with. Like
Yeah.
we didn't
Yeah.
pass this on to you. Like we didn't.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you
Yeah.
learned this from the fucking kids at school,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're trying to be cool or whatever it is, you know. So
Jimmy went to high school and he got all crazy
Yeah.
on us.
It's all a matter. I think it's also like your kids also. When you have kids, you want to impart your knowledge. You want to impart your beliefs. But I think the best, and again, this is coming from someone who has never had a kid. But I would think that when
You
I
sure
have kids,
about
I want
that?
to raise them to the point that they don't need me, and I think that's the hardest part of being a parent.
Yeah.
is you're raising these
let them
these
let them
beings
go.
that you chose to have with the love of your life, that you're raising this human to be the best it can be.
Wait.
to not need you anymore. That's a fascinating concept.
That might be the most poignant part of the podcast ever.
Yeah, like you want them to make
You
good
want
decisions.
to raise your children to not need you.
but that's the thing. You
I feel
want
like
them
David
to not need you,
Attenborough
but
right
to
now.
want to be with you.
And no longer do Pete's children need him.
Because, like, I want my kids to get to a point where they don't need to call me up and say, hey, I need your help. I mean, again, I'm sure when I'm at
kids
that
are-
age,
you're gonna
I'm
be
going to think...
88.
They're gonna always call you.
I want them
Yeah.
to call me, but I feel like if I did my job correctly, then they don't need to call me at every single turn.
Like, I feel like instinctively, like just like human nature, is you look for your mother or for your father.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like
Which is
any
kinda fucking
any
weird, by the way.
situation
Yeah.
where, because that's how you were
Mother!
nurtured by
Mother!
that person, you know,
Yeah.
like. When you were born to like you
Yeah.
to where you are now, you were nurtured, and we haven't lived that long of a life. I
Yeah.
mean, it's been whatever. It's been decent amount of time.
And look
But,
at
like,
human life expectancy.
If anything super dramatic happens in your life, who are the first people that you fucking call?
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters, and they always had the answer.
they were always there for you.
No,
No,
I hear what
you
you're
always
saying.
call your parents, you know? Like, you get engaged, or you fucking...
Yeah.
I call
you,
Allstate.
you,
Hey, I fucked up again.
if you fuck yourself up somehow, you're calling your parents first, you know? Like, Dad, I totally fucked up. I just... Or
No,
whatever
if
it
I
is.
fuck up, I'm not calling my dad.
No,
I'm calling
like-
one of you two.
No, I'm saying if you, like, fucking crash your car or something...
Hey,
or-
I'm still calling one of you two.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, you
no
can call
way.
me.
No
but I'm not
fucking
gonna
way.
help your ass
I
out.
think I
I'll
call...
talk you down.
You call me, I'll call your dad.
Yeah.
We'll get through this. Dude,
I think my parents
It's true,
would be
it's
mad
true.
at me if I didn't call them first. Like,
I didn't call him when I got a new job for like a week. Like,
Yeah?
that's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. Because again, it leads
I've
to
gone months
you don't
without
need
talking to my parents. Like, what?
You live with them.
I do now, but dude, I
couldn't. I freak
it's
out.
not like, hey, I did a thing. I'm like, hey, I'm alive. Cool. All right, bye.
We're good. No, I
I'm not,
made it
like-
through another one.
Like, you're very, very talkative with your parents. Like,
I freak
I've
out.
gone through-
If
I've
I
gone
don't-
through
if I don't go
periods.
like a week, I'd freak out.
But I feel like it's good to go through a period of like
a
all
week
right,
is good. A week is like,
I'm like,
hey,
"Ugh." Because especially since they're old, I'm like, anything can fucking happen. They're old, and it's like I'm young. I'm gonna be alive for a while. I cannot talk to somebody for like a year, and they're gonna assume that I'm not dead.
But do you talk to them because you're leaning like a need for advice, or just like, hey, check in, how's it going?
Oh, both.
it just feels good.
Mostly check
It
in,
just
though.
feels good, and they need it too.
They need it more than you do.
You would be surprised how much, and they have a wealth of information too. Like, I don't know where this like notion came. Like, fuck your parents. Like,
You just said it earlier.
I know.
But he doesn't know where it came from.
no, but-
it's a part of him, but he can't
You just
No,
boomerang
explain
yourself.
it.
Yeah,
You
boomerang.
played yourself.
Fool.
Pretty so.
No, but like, look at how many ancient cultures like reveled in like the wisdom of the elders. You know?
Yeah.
Native American cultures, like the older you were, the cooler you were. What? We don't have that. We're like, get out of the way. We suck. But what that person has, like my grandma has so much wisdom. That's
Yeah.
why I spend as much time as I can taking her to Publix.
It's really interesting too, just to think about like
We're
your
backwards
family
right
as
now.
you go back. So think about like our parents raised us. So they none of us have kids, but at our parents' age, they all had like we were all alive at this age, at like various stages in our life. So it's really bizarre to think like how I can't imagine having a kid for the last like 10 years, and by this point my dad was raising three children.
Yeah.
But it was also at the same time financially, I don't want to say easier because raising kids is hard,
Yeah.
but it's financially different. Like the world is a different
Yeah,
place. It's
it
not
is.
as you're not dealing with as many things at once.
I feel like we're looked down on right now because we're not like
because we
raising-
don't have kids, but we're raised in a different world than we were raised.
I think it's just
Or
like
we would be raising kids in a
College
different
cost $1,500 back then. Like
world. If you
rent was
sneezed
like
and-
$46 per month. Like I talked to my parents about
But don't
their
get me wrong,
first
like
home.
that doesn't
their first home was
disintegrate
like
how-
$15,000. Like
that doesn't show how like they
I'm
had
not saying
it easy. They
I
worked
know,
hard.
I know they.
Yeah.
I
But-
know, and
It's different now.
we're
The
exploited.
expectations are the same, but
I
the
think we're
stakes are a little bit
exploited.
higher.
I
College
think
puts
American
you-
culture has also like fucked with us.
It's changed
because
dramatically.
things are like the way that I guess there's this like, okay, you gotta go to high school and then you gotta get the fuck out. To where it's like in other countries you stay home until you get married, you know? Like I was talking to Tammy and her parents are from Lebanon, and she was saying that like the daughter or the kid don't leave the house until they're actually married. Like you don't live with the person that you're with or dating until you're actually married.
Yeah.
And like in America it's like if you're fucking 19 and you're still at home, you're looked at as being like a loser, or you're just like what's wrong with you? You're still at home, and it's like to us, it's like fucking frowned upon. To where if you're home with your parents, that you're, that it's just not a good look. But yeah, I think it's just like a culture thing. So, I mean,
it's just different. I mean, it's a different times,
and
by the time if any of
places.
us have kids, by the time they're being raised, it's going to be a whole new world for them to have to go through.
And hopefully it's well. How do you feel? I mean, if your kid was home and like if they left, they graduated and they're still home, how would you feel about your kid still being home?
Depends on the situation.
Obviously, it's your kid. I think the bigger conversation is like the American dream.
Yeah,
but that's undefinable.
Which is
I
also,
know that's hard to define. It's like very idealistic. But what is the
fucking
American dream? Is to like work hard and progress.
Yeah.
And I don't see a lot of people. I see a lot of people, and I myself am in this camp. You work hard, you don't progress. You just fucking.
Yeah.
Well, that's everything though.
You gotta have a degree.
That's just
I know.
life. You know,
I know.
where
Of course, I'm not arguing any aspect of that.
going to fail.
Yeah.
Eventually,
failure is inevitable. Work through failure. I don't see currently the same avenues to success that used to be.
No, but at the same time, it's almost like, okay, so when one industry goes under, you have no other choice but to learn a new skill or to find a new avenue of progressing forward. So while it was, I hate to say the word easier because that makes it seem like what our parents did was cheap, because it's not. While it was a little bit easier to get financially ahead back then, it's not now. So now we have to find new ways. We can't just go the way that they went, because that's how the world works.
That doesn't exist anymore.
We have to find our own way.
My dad
We have to
was
find
a
new avenues.
sociology major that landed a sales job.
No way.
Making like $15,000 a year. That
Well, how
bought
many
a home
people actually?
after like 2 years of work?
How many people actually work in the industry that they graduated? It changes so rapidly.
Yeah.
That's a good
Like
question.
communications is really broad.
Who
so
works in
anybody
the
can,
field that they actually studied anymore?
I know my
I think
parents
that
didn't. I don't.
I do, but
I kind of do.
I think
what
that
about
the
this?
system is just fucked up. Like
Right. So
Yeah.
you have to
You're-
find new ways to get
If you're
ahead.
making
where-
I think that
$30,000 a
Americans
year,
need to change
if you're
the
making
system.
$30,000 a year, should you not be able to fucking buy a home in like a couple years?
30
Well, I
grand a
think it
year
depends on
isn't
what-
much anymore.
$30,000 a year is dog shit.
that's
Right.
nothing.
But
Your
but
rent
20
is
years ago,
1,500. Yeah,
20
that
years
was
ago,
a
that was a
salary
big
and a
difference.
half.
Right.
That was like something that got you on your way. 30.
I mean,
grand,
you
like,
could. It's just depending
No,
on
you
where,
can't.
like where you wanna,
You want to
where
eat
you wanna
Lunchables
live.
every night?
I remember when
I
my
mean,
parents
yeah,
were
it's-
saying, when they were coming up in the
If you make
80s
30
and 90s, they would say, you know, my dad got a job that he was making 20 grand a year, and they thought they were rich
Yeah.
because that would be like us when we're 22 making like 50 grand a year. That's a fucking lot of money to a kid that age.
Dude, I don't see where the pay scale for people coming out of college is worthwhile.
Not anymore.
Anywhere.
But the innovation, so what it does
If you
is
make
it does help.
$32,000, like I remember coming out of college and making $28,000. You know what that gets you?
Not much now.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Like
You
I think,
gotta move home and you gotta save that money. You
Yeah.
can't go have an apartment and pay for food and
I think it depends on
gas,
where
car
you
insurance,
like
car
where you
payment,
live.
college debt.
Also,
Yeah.
What? No, I think
It is where you live.
It
and
is-
and
it is
it's
where
the
you live.
industry you
I
work in.
think
It's
there's
all the
an
matter of
onslaught behind, like coming back at kids.
Yeah.
I think that
Now.
we've also created this system to where people believe that you require certain things to live. Obviously, there's the basic necessities to where you need like you need shelter, you need food, and you need I don't know what the other things are, but
Yeah.
you need basic things to live and
Heat.
and clothing. So you need basic things to just live. I think people have added on things to
Brunch.
where to where I need brunch,
North
I need
Face.
I need
Coats.
this fucking new car, I need the
Yeah.
newest iPhone,
Yeah.
I need a new laptop, I need all this shit to where it's like this stuff is fucking expensive. Like you don't need all of these things.
I need Whole
I need to go
Foods.
shopping.
Well,
'cause
there's
I think that
I
there's
need yoga.
There are
this
two sides.
pressure from like your
There-
social circles
That
to
is
where
that is
Right.
a perfect point because
Right.
like spending $182 a month on yoga classes is excessive.
I've seen people who there's TV shows where it's like a fucking extreme to where it's like I live in a tiny home or tiny home people, and they don't need a massive fucking house, or you're like a minimalist to where it's like you don't have anything.
So
you
you're
just have
suggesting that
a
we should
fucking
all
table.
be minimalist? Like,
No,
but you're
no,
right-
I'm
you're
just
right
saying
in
that
the-
your
like,
basic. You're
Hold on,
right.
You're right in the peer
shift
pressure
your lifestyle.
sense because you're saying that like where you're living kind of like if you're living in the downtown area, you're going to be going out constantly. If you're a single person, downtown area in your like 20s, you're going to be going out, so you have to match the lifestyle you're living. It's like it's a dumb example, but it's like that Friends episode where half of them could afford this nice dinner and like whatever they wanted, and the other half really couldn't. So you're like, well, I have to go along with it, and I can't afford it all.
It's a lot of social pressures to where it's like
It is,
for instance, like people
What are you going out? What are you, a loser?
Like,
Everybody,
that's why
it's like
there's-
high school.
Yeah, like it's fucking terrible. That's why there's so many malls and not many like secondhand like thrift shops, you know, because it's like people don't want to be seen wearing like secondhand clothes. It's like it's kind of frowned upon, you know, to where it's like you don't want people to think that you're weird or that you're poor or that you're like.
But then in
people
some
are
areas, it's like going to a dress barn is like dressing up.
yeah.
So it's all. But I think it all
You'll
boils down
find me
to
in a pub in secondhand clothes any day of the week.
it all boils down to what do you value most.
Exactly.
And I think people forget that just because you value something doesn't mean the rest of us have to value it.
No, but wait.
I value one thing different than you guys, than you do, we all value things differently. That's why we spend our money accordingly. If you really want to know what a person values, look at their bank sheet. What do they spend the most money on? What do they always go towards?
For you, it's
That's
porn.
what they value. For me, it's porn. I can't help it. I'm
10 monthly porn sites.
10 grand a year.
No,
on
but
porn.
look, like my grandpa was like a blue collar mechanic who bought a house in Minneapolis and raised a family there.
Good luck on that.
I
now, without
guarantee
food
you,
stamps.
go get a mechanic job and try to buy a house and raise a family.
With kids,
around. You know what you're gonna be?
You're gonna be
You're gonna
broke
be
AF.
living in like
I just said ass.
extended
That's how bad it
stay
is.
motel.
Well,
You'll have
I
no
think
like.
if
I
you're
don't
in
know,
South,
I
if you're
just-
in
I
South
just
Florida,
think-
it's fucking hard. But like if you're in like Fort Myers or the Midwest somewhere, you can buy a house for like nothing.
All
Like
right.
who?
All right, so
was it?
leave where you live.
Well, was it you that sent us that that Instagram page where it was like super cheap houses in like the middle of
Yeah,
nowhere, pretty
yeah,
much? Like
yeah.
if you live
For, like,
in like a city
$58,000.
like
Yeah.
here, to where it's like there's so many opportunities to where there's so many rich people everywhere that the value of everything just fucking goes up. Like Fort Lauderdale can charge so much because people are getting paid so much, you know.
Yeah.
Like, but if you live in a place to where it's like the Midwest, where like there aren't many millionaires or six-figure jobs, most people work like an average salary. You know, you can buy a little house or get a little apartment for like nothing probably, but there's just nothing there.
Yeah.
So it depends on what you value. You know, if you want to be in the city, like fucking look at New York. You know, they charge what. $4,000 for like a one bedroom.
For, like,
It's
an
like
inch of real
insane.
estate, yeah.
Because everyone there makes so much
We're in
goddamn
a
money.
multi-million-dollar apartment if this is Manhattan.
Oh god, we're balling if we're in Manhattan
Dude,
right
imagine
now.
we're in Manhattan right now. We're millionaires.
See, but that's the whole thing. Like people, you know, depends on what you value. You know,
It
live
just-
in,
no,
live
it
in
just
New York,
depends on what
you
people
value
pay.
New York that much that you'll suffer with a little tiny place,
And
or
what's
maybe you're
funny-
not suffering. Maybe you're
People
having a good
want to
time.
value.
You're right.
People
Yeah.
want to value what other people value so desperately that they'll change their own lifestyle.
Values.
Yeah,
They'll change it. Right.
everything will change
I
just
value
to
what
match
you
the
value
next
so
door
much that
neighbor.
I'll
Yeah.
change my values.
Dude, fuck that. Are you happy?
No. I'll go live in Charleston on a fucking barge.
Well, you also said you're going to delete your Facebook, and here we are.
I'll first deactivate. You don't want to get me started right now.
I don't. You're very correct on that. I don't.
Like, what do you think the average millennial spends on cell phones annually?
Nothing. Their parents pay for it.
Yeah. Bing, 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 bing.
What do the average
You're
millennial
correct.
parents spend on cell phones annually?
60.
$1,200.
$1,200.
Annually?
Sounds about right.
Think of it this way: if it's 100 and
I'm
Two
sorry.
iPhones a year.
I was talking monthly. Yeah.
Two iPhones come out a year.
unlimited data, think about every Christmas you have to get a new phone because it's in style and you have to be a part of it.
So you figure the
Think
new
about
phone.
the shame when you see their sex.
I mean, see that's
What
the
if
thing is that
AT&T sent you a bill with the actual phone?
that's why you.
God damn it, Connor!
Fuck! God.
Marissa, that's gratuitous, you bitch.
And I mean that's that's the whole thing. Like, I mean, you look at 13-year-old fucking iPhones, like
Yeah.
13-year-olds with iPads and fucking Segway things, and it's like, I mean, some people, that's what they value.
Are you ready for the future?
No,
I'm not either.
not at all.
Wait, what do you designate the future? Like, what are you not
Alright,
ready for?
alright. I'm
not ready.
I have an 11-year-old niece. She's a handful. She's got all her fucking hoverboards and her friends
Hoverboard.
and like all this bullshit. She's in 5th grade. I'm like, I kind of like let my brother and Sam parent, but I kind of just watch. I'm like, this is what having a fucking kid is all about. And I'm like, this is not something I ever want in my life. Why would I want this?
Yeah.
They're like, you.
But it's not yours though.
Yeah.
She's not yours though. If it was,
Oh.
if she was your child, it'd be
Narcissist.
different. No, it would be different.
This one is mine.
Well, it's different because it's like
I
you
think
didn't produce it. It's now here. You didn't do anything to create this thing that's now in your life.
No, but I'll
So
help
you
it.
like
I'll help it.
No attachment.
can fuck off.
Ew, ew.
If your parents die, I
And
don't want to
she-
know about it.
And she's a great kid. She's a great kid.
For sure.
And I'm
But
like,
at the
I'm
same
like,
time,
"Hey, I love you,
you
bye."
had no hand in the creation of that child. I
Yeah.
hope.
So if it's
I watched.
yeah, you know how we roll.
I do. That's why I said I
We
hope.
did a downstairs mix up, so nobody
You
knows.
switched penises,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Hey, she's got red hair, so it's most likely mine.
It's a 50-50.
It's mostly
Anyways.
mine. But looking at a kid,
I'm saying when you raise the child from the time it's born to the time you're like you can have a meaningful conversation.
Yeah.
You've raised that child along the way, so it's different. You have a connection there.
we don't
that
have
you
kids, so
with
we
a
can't
niece or
say.
nephew.
I think
Right.
once you have that kid, your life gets turned upside down.
It's
I totally
different.
believe that, but at the same time, you have to be ready for that to happen. So like,
No.
because people say like, when you have a kid, your whole life changes, and I agree with
You
that.
don't
I'm
have
sure
to
it
be
does.
ready.
No, what I'm saying is, I'm
It's
sure
happening,
it does.
and you better get ready.
Okay, unless you can prepare to the utmost that you can prepare for it to happen.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is,
It's like preparing for storming the beaches of Normandy. I'm prepared. No,
but
you're not.
I'd rather be in a place in my life where I'm like covered no matter what, and if a kid happened, it happened.
Yeah.
Choice or not.
I like that mentality. If it can happen, it happened.
I think we would just figure it out if a kid were to
That's-
See,
happen.
and that's what life boils
That's
down
all
to.
anybody ever does is figure it out.
No matter
That's all
what.
that's all that life is. Period.
That's what I'm saying. There
The
is no
future is so
the
unknown. We're
most
just
like
figuring it out.
slick person that looks put together is faking it just like the rest of us. Because you know what? They're just fucking scared people. We're all our various ages, and
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we're still driving in traffic amongst other people that are just as like
Which-
in their
So
own head
at
as
best,
we
we're
are.
all
Which has gotten me
figuring it
thinking.
out.
We're all just learning
The
with each
most
other.
success, like Elon Musk wakes up and he's like, I don't know how to feel today.
Elon Musk still gets diarrhea.
Maybe he's like, he
He's still a
curls up
human
with
being.
a pillow. He's like, I don't want to get out of bed today.
I'm just
Alright,
saying.
I
Like,
guess I will go launch that rocket.
even the most people.
Conor McGregor is like unconfident.
Even the people that like
Unconfident.
have the most fame and have accomplished the most still have diarrhea. We're
Yeah.
all humans.
More
Which
so, those people
They
have
still
diarrhea.
are flawed. They just happen to be on a different plane than we are.
Or a plane that we've created to
Right.
put them
Yeah.
on.
Right.
But I've been doing a lot of thinking. It's a very depressing thought. But it's
We like these.
it's
Go on.
because
Go
I've
on.
completely
Do
given
tell.
up on this 9 to 5 bullshit. I've given up on it.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'll probably
Hold on. Here's my question before you go any further, real quick, if you
Yeah.
don't mind my interjection.
sure.
Are you giving up on the 9 to 5 because you hate the 9 to 5 aspect of it, like the corporate aspect, or because you don't enjoy your job as much as you would like to?
Yes.
I don't think I need to be at work 8 hours a day.
I
I don't
agree.
think I need to be.
Do you have to be? Like, are you forced to, like, when they say, would you get in trouble for leaving early or showing up late?
Brandon, you're hired.
Leaving early and showing up late?
Yeah.
No.
Like, by like a half hour, whatever.
No. I my start time is 10. I get to work at 10:20, 10:30.
And when do you leave?
6:15,
So,
6:30.
so it's like a good setup. But do you like your
It's
job
fine.
then?
No, it's fine. But the thing is that like feel like I need to create something
I hear
of my own to where I don't need to, I guess, technically belong to somebody else.
Yeah, I hear
To
you.
where-
Laura will hire you.
And I feel like here's the reasoning Why? Because I feel like every job is meaningless.
Yeah.
Because we're all just gonna die.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my question.
Wow.
So
You
we're
are where I was at when I just
Wait,
said
so
I
hold
don't
on.
work here anymore.
Yeah,
So here's my
Absolutely.
question to you. Every
this is
job
all just
just
busy
a
work
job.
until death comes.
Yeah.
Even if they're
Boop,
Yeah.
boop, 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 boop,
This
boop.
podcast, anything you do personally, is in that same boat of
No.
just busy work until. Jerry Seinfeld said it best. He goes, "We're all just killing time. Every
Yeah.
innovation, everything that we've ever created,
Yeah, well, he
is
still
just
goes
because
and buys
we're
Nike
here."
Shocks and does tours
I'm
and
not
makes a TV
following
show.
his lead.
But
I'm
here's
just
the way
saying,
I see it,
He's
yeah.
got a good quote on that one.
Yes,
I see it though.
we are killing time.
As like,
We're all
would
just killing
you
time.
Might
would
as
you
well make it
rather
nice.
would you rather do this podcast for as like whenever we want,
Yeah.
full time, we won't have to worry about it, or would you rather go do whatever job you?
I
do
totally
now?
agree. Look, here's where I will. This is where I can kind of. It's weird because I right now love my job.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get excited to go to work. I
Yeah.
think about it. It's a passion of mine now. Even still, the podcast, like I love it the same way. I love the enthusiasm and the passion and the good times that we put into it. At the end of the day, they're both literally just killing time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to donate as much time as I can to both. And then whichever pans out, I'll follow in that
Hold up,
direction.
hold
I
up.
feel like all of
Yeah.
life is as much as you can plan and as much as you can try to like have it your way set out. All of life is literally flying by the seat of your pants.
Yeah.
Every
yes.
decision you
Yes.
make, because things will happen to you
Yes.
whether you like it or not.
Right,
And so
yes.
everything is just being fast on your toes.
But
So I feel like that's kind of how I look at life.
killing time is when you sit
Well,
at
that's-
work and
Yeah.
you're like, I don't get to leave
I
for
feel
an
like
hour and a half.
You got to care about what
That's
you do.
killing time.
I hated work for
Like,
years.
I enjoy marketing. Like I like it.
you know it really well. You know it
Toro
on
wants to
top.
hire
And
you.
the only thing with me is that I believe that I don't need if I'm in this if I'm in this to make money, I want to do it in as little amount of time as
You want to create your
as
own? You want to create
possible.
your own thing?
I want it to be in as little amount of time as possible. So if people are giving me work to where it's like, here's the job, but people offer me
Blah,
shit all the
blah,
fucking
blah.
time to where it's like, I can make tons of money. Where I'm like, I don't want to just be fucking hunkered down in my room,
Yeah.
grinding out projects to
Yeah.
make all this fucking money. Like I feel like I just want to just
Create.
I want to have something to where I can spend minimal time on it to support myself financially.
Yeah.
And do things that are awesome that don't make a lot of money.
God damn
At
it!
the same time, so
God
here's
damn it!
the,
You
know what I
finally
mean?
get it.
So, but here's the
create
theory, though.
and fuck everybody else.
But-
create and fuck everybody else.
But with that mentality, you're so like look at the people that have
gotta be
created.
alone.
But look at these people that have created these massive things.
Yeah.
They're not. They're going to. It would be different. Like let's say this podcast turns into this like Joe Rogan level type podcast where now not only is it something that we enjoy doing, but there's kind of a pressure behind it to go on every day, to be good, to really be quality. So then it turns into a job. Are you still going to find that same passion?
I think that
It's
if,
all a matter of, I guess,
if
how
this
you look at it.
became a job, it would be on our own terms to where it'll
Yeah.
grow
Yeah.
It's
and
on
be
your own
as big
terms.
as we
Right.
want it to be.
You do, it does
wouldn't
what we
let
want it to do.
We wouldn't let it get to the point to where we're grinding
Yeah.
for like 60 hours a week. We,
yeah,
right.
it's
we
not
just-
like
it
Bray
wouldn't-
did. Where's that report?
But
yeah,
at the same time,
it wouldn't
if you-
reach that point.
The people that get to the level of like millions and billions, they are working 24/7.
The thing is that do you
But
want
to them,
millions of billions,
it's
though?
not work. To
the
them,
whole
that's
thing.
their pleasure. That's their relax. Like for me, my relax is different. Like there's different
Well, yeah.
things you do. Everybody does things differently. You
You
know
like
that
to
when you
ride
want to
horses
relax,
butt naked.
Right.
See, the thing is
Whether
that,
it's
yeah.
plopping in front of Netflix or writing something or listening or create whatever the creation aspect of it is, everybody has their own process
Yes.
of how they do it.
Yes.
And so I feel like in that process, that's people would look at that like, how do you have the time to work on that? It's not work to them; it's passion.
But then I also feel like there's like yes, like you can work on your passion can be your living.
Yeah.
But I feel there's also things that do not give you financial income.
Yeah. That you just
they're-
love.
That you just love to
Yeah.
fucking do.
Yeah.
Like, I would never want to reach the day to where I have to pencil in my fucking family. To where it's, okay, Wednesday I'm with my kids, and then
Yeah,
I won't see them
exactly,
again,
yeah.
and then I'm flying out to Arizona,
Dude.
and they'll be there, and I'll pencil them in for next Tuesday.
You had a big foresight of your future.
Yeah, like
Yeah, you did.
did.
You saw where it could go,
You
and you
saw
saw
it.
where you wanted it to
You
go.
saw it.
And
So-
you fought the temptation of
Yeah.
a lot of money really quickly to building something that you believe in and care about.
And good.
Exactly, because
for you
I
for
And
doing
good.
that,
And,
yeah.
and
Because it's-
fuck it, that when I walked away from Zimmerman, I had the most like clear foresight. I was like, "There's nothing here. There's nothing."
because
Fine.
here's
Gotta go.
my
Yeah.
my
Stuff
situation
is
now.
gonna be created by.
Like my
We have to
situation.
do sometimes.
Like I met this kind of crossroads to where it was like I can either work 40 hours and get paid a lot more money, or kind of do my own thing and try to find gigs in places to where I don't have to work 40 hours.
Yeah.
And make less money.
Yeah.
I think most people would be like 40 hours. I want to make lots of fucking money. And people are different, but I feel like do you value money or do you value your time?
Yeah.
Which is you have to kind of make that decision, like people are like, oh, overtime, fuck yeah, let's go. I'm gonna be I'm gonna work for you for that much longer so I can make more money
Yeah.
and save up for that fucking Mercedes or whatever it is,
$31,000 a year. Here we go.
I'm not trying to. I mean, I'm not trying to talk down about people who are in that grind.
But I'm gonna do it right
No,
now.
No, because some
be
people
realistic,
are
'cause
fine
there's,
with it.
There's a lot of people that are coming up like you that are going to be like, "Fucking A, man! I want
Yeah.
to make a living. I want to learn this."
But
And
whatever their value is,
you're that many years ahead.
It is
man.
what you value. It is what, because some
and it's,
people are perfectly
it's so
fine.
totally different for every
Yeah.
single person. Not even
Exactly.
just like a little bit. Like I like this color of a car versus this color of a
Yeah.
car. It's like
No,
cars versus like sports. Everybody has their passion and
it's
the
your
thing that they
fucking
want to
day-to-day
attain.
life. It's what do you
And
what are you
people
doing?
forget, like, it's kind of funny because some people are so, and me, myself included, you get so passionate about whatever it is that you care about that you kind of like, in like a paternal to childish sense, you kind of pass it on to your friends, like, no, you have to like this thing that I like, because it's,
Yeah.
you can't reason with how much you like it, that you have to force it on other people. Versus realizing, wait a minute, this is something that I just really value, and you each have your own passionate.
Brandon, I support
thing.
your fucking individuality. Like, branch off, go do your thing.
Of course.
Toro, I'll hire you immediately. We will pay you. Swear to God, you'll handle all our SEO, everything.
We're talking
You're,
business on the podcast.
you're gonna get paid.
I mean,
This is not official business, but it is business-esque. Sponsored by Toro. Butthole.
brought to you by
And also Salon Paws. Who reminds you?
I'm gonna end it there. There's no better way.